Seopong, standing before the group, urgently called for them to stop. Hugh, wearing a smirk, questioned the reason for the interruption, expressing surprise at Seopong's concern. Seopong carefully observed the path ahead, noting the presence of an array. Hugh, alarmed, exclaimed in disbelief, wondering if they would once again face flying insects. Seopong clarified that the array was far worse than flying insects. It would create various bizarre illusions the moment they stepped on it. The illusions would play tricks on their senses and perception. Hugh, displaying confidence, dismissed the significance of illusions, considering them to be a minor inconvenience. He insisted that they should continue with their investigation, regardless of the potential challenges posed by the illusions. Seopong expressed his concern, questioning the group's decision to proceed without deactivating the array. He feared the unknown consequences of entering the area with the array still active. Hugh, confident in his abilities, disregarded Seopong's warning and confidently moved forward. He believed that their rigorous mental training would render the illusions ineffective against them. Despite Seopong's apprehension, the Murim organization advanced with Q leading the way, convinced that they could overcome the illusions and continue their exploration of the tomb. Elder Gamyoung cautioned Sagun, emphasizing the importance of keeping up with the group to prevent the Murim alliance from claiming all the treasures within the tomb. Sagun, contemplating the risks, raised concerns about ignoring young warrior Jagel's warning and proceeding into the tomb. Gamyoung reassured Sagun, highlighting that unlike physical traps, hallucinations could be overcome by maintaining mental composure and unity within the group. Seopong, expressing his frustration, reiterated his earlier warnings, indicating that the situation was more complex than Gamyoung's assessment implied. Kwang turned to Seopong, seeking guidance on deactivating the array. Seopong explained that it was impossible to deactivate the array from their current position due to its design. The only option was to venture inside the array to locate and destroy its core, which served as the source of the illusions. Acknowledging the necessity of entering the array, Kwang contemplated the next steps. Sang inquired if Kwang intended to enter the array himself. Without hesitation, Kwang affirmed that he would be the one to take on the task. Yun, recognizing the importance of support and teamwork, volunteered to accompany Kwang, emphasizing the benefits of working together in facing the challenges within the array. Kwang's ally widened their eyes in surprise by Yun's involvement. Sagun expressed his concern to young warrior Yun, inquiring about his well-being and readiness for the task ahead. Yun, confident in their teamwork, suggested that their chances of success would be higher with two people working together. Kwang and Yun secured themselves with ropes to ensure they wouldn't get lost in the array. Seopong addressed Kwang and Yun, providing instructions for their mission. He emphasized the importance of communication through rope signals, instructing them to pull the rope 3 times if they succeeded in deactivating the array and twice if they encountered any issues. Yun, taken aback by being called Brother Yun, expressed surprise at the unexpected camaraderie. Kwang, in response to Seopong's careful instructions, remarked on the level of concern shown. As they entered the array, Yun contemplated the nature of the illusions. He recalled the descriptions from the novel, realizing that the array could distort one's senses and create hallucinations that could manipulate the mind. In that moment, he saw an opportunity to harm Kwang. However, before he could act on his dark thoughts, the smoke within the array dispersed, and Yun found himself trapped inside a vivid hallucination. Confused and alarmed, he noticed that the rope connecting him to Kwang had disappeared. As Yun observed the mesmerizing scenery, he marveled at its beauty, finding it far more captivating than any virtual reality experience. However, a sense of unease crept into his thoughts as he considered the possibility of stumbling into a trap while wandering aimlessly. Suddenly, a woman's voice called out to him, addressing him as Woon. Startled, Yun questioned the identity of the mysterious caller. The woman continued to call him, urging him to follow her. Despite his reservations, Yun found himself drawn to the voice and began moving in her direction. The woman enticed him further, mentioning that Woon's mother had prepared something delicious for him to enjoy. Intrigued and puzzled by the unexpected presence of Woon's mother, Raho Yanawa, in the hallucination, Yun's mind raced with questions. Yun gazed intently at Woon's mom's face, trying to make sense of the situation. Woon's mom, noticing his focused gaze, playfully questioned if there was something on her face. Yun, trying to articulate his thoughts. He couldn't help but wonder about the nature of these memories that seemed to belong to Woon. Woon's mom invited him to join the picnic, urging him to eat before the food grew cold. Yun's mind raced with uncertainties, unsure if he could actually partake in the food within the hallucination. In response to Yun's hesitation, Woon's mom expressed concern, asking if he was feeling unwell. Suddenly, An army of iron-armored soldiers appeared, causing chaos and panic. Woon's mom urgently grabbed Yun's hand, pulling him along, trying to escape from the approaching army. As they rushed forward, Woon's mom stumbled and fell to the ground, unable to keep up with the pace. She urged Yun to flee, warning him about the imminent danger posed by the approaching soldiers. Yun, facing the army with determination, gripped his sword tightly. Frustrated by the situation, he called out to the soldiers, demanding to know their identity and purpose. As Yun faced the army, a thought crossed his mind. Since there was no one watching this illusionary battle, he will fight with all his might. Engaging in combat, Yun skillfully defeated the troops of the iron-armored army. Reflecting on the situation, he pondered how the real Woon might have reacted, potentially succumbing to fear and trembling in a corner. But Yun, determined and resolute, declared that he was not Woon. Woon's mom, concerned and confused, called out to Woon, unsure of his true identity. The illusion started to crumble, shattering into pieces. Amidst the chaos, Yun spotted an exit and made his way towards the light. Yun found himself in a distressing scene, surrounded by home engulfed in flames. He couldn't help but wonder if this was yet another memory belonging to Woon. He heard the sound of a child crying, seeking refuge from the devastation. Yun's attention was drawn towards the child, and he observed the familiar dragon headband. Realizing that this must be a memory belonging to Kwang, he inwardly expressed frustration, surmising that Kwang had fallen completely under the illusion's spell. In that moment, Yun saw an opportunity to exploit the situation for his own advantage. He reached for his sword, preparing to take advantage of the illusion and the vulnerability it presented. However, before he could act, a man confronted him, demanding to know his identity. The unexpected interruption disrupted Yun's plans, forcing him to confront the challenges that lay before him. A group of masked men emerged, ready for a confrontation. Yun, frustrated by the timing of their arrival, decided to quickly deal with them. With determination, he urged the men to engage in battle. Yun unleashed his bracelet sword and heavenly demonic sword, prepared to defend himself. The masked men, armed with circle blades, launched their weapons towards Yun. Swiftly, he swung his sword, skillfully countered their attacks. With a leap, he closed in on the enemies, swiftly striking them down with his sword. One by one, the masked men were defeated, unable to match Yun's prowess. A box fell to the ground, bearing a symbol that caught Yun's attention. Yun, filled with anger and determination, expressed his frustration at the appearance of the mysterious enemy. He contemplated his next move, intending to eliminate the child who seemed to be a threat. Yun saw this as a golden opportunity to accomplish his own hidden agenda. To his surprise, the child Kwang approached him and addressed him as Big Brother, inquiring if Yun had defeated all the bad guys.